Yo! What's going on, guys? I'm not even gonna bother with all the introductions and stuff. Um, there's too much to get at, so let's get at it. What do you guys think about this greatness? This most anticipated confrontation since almost all of last year, I think.
It was alright. It was
What the
cool.
fuck, bro? Yo, what a hype killer, bro.
Bazooka you across the room.
Hey.
Bro, you supposed to here's the journey, bro. You supposed to start with the reaction, go to the review, and then you supposed to get to this video, bro. It's supposed to be the third video you get to. And you gonna end them off with that shit, Satsuki, bro. Come on.
Hey
bro.
man. Hey, I resent the hatred I got for saying that this chapter wasn't a 10 out of 10. But like for real, I like the chapter. I really like the chapter. I don't want to really give it a rating. I'm gonna keep that ambiguous, but I just didn't like it as much as everybody else. But I really fuck with the chapter.
I kind of been hearing that opinion.
I'm gonna need a justification for it later on.
Oh, it's none. But we'll get there.
The hype was well met. Simple as that.
No, I mean, we waited for Garou and Darkshine, and we got Garou and Darkshine, so it's exactly what it sounds like. It was a good chapter. It was a great chapter, even. Yeah, it was something. Yeah.
This chapter was dope. So good. I didn't know how much I actually needed to see a white Darkshine and a black Garou, but we were there, man, and I enjoyed every second of it. It was good.
So much shit was going on. They changed races, huh?
Yeah, it was one of the best chapters ever of the series, in my opinion. But also, I'm a big Garou stan, so I got a real big kick out of this one. But it's an amazing adaptation of how it is in the webcomic. A lot of added stuff that wasn't normally in it, and that's much appreciated. And I'm just curious to hear what you guys overall have to say about this, given how it turned out.
Bro, this was it. This is like, that's like the only way to put it, bro. Like that relief, bro. Like when you're taking a piss and you get to the end of the stream, or like the middle of the stream where it starts to get warm and shit like that, bro. You start to really feel the heat and it starts to feel good, whatever. Or when you bust a nut, bro, you just, like end feeling.
That's where we're getting to. I was waiting for that one.
I've missed this.
Because you know how it takes like 2 or 3 times, bro. It's like it's been like, I don't want to say it was playing around because it's Rover, bro. You know, it's what we wanted, but I just feel like we were playing around too much, and now we're finally here back to business. Phoenix was, I don't know. Phoenix wasn't the last time we got to business. Atomic was the last time we got to business. Flash, we got to business too. Like these pivotal fights are what like I'm talking about, and like this is not only do we get to see a hero put on a full display as it should be. A lot of heroes don't get that. Atomic's getting that. Child got that. Flashy got that. So hopefully more guys are gonna get that. You know, Bang is a prime suspect for that. I know we want to say whenever Bang fought Garou that was that, but nah, my nigga, like Bang finna show up for real. I'm trying to see all of Bang, no homo, all of that nigga. And this was another instance of that shit, bro. Like all of Garou, like all of Garou. Oh my god, you don't even know, bro. Like
Sorry, you okay, Grimm?
I'm done, man. Go ahead, I'm done. So apparently, Garou was sleeping for a portion of this fight. We got the introduction from the last instance whenever Darkshine was walking up to save Pooty from Garou, who was sleeping apparently, and the beginning of the fight before he woke up was kind of like what we expected or what I expected. But it revealed some new traits or features to Darkshine, and like there's some more intricacies to it. So like, how do you guys feel about Garou being asleep?
Felt felt weird because like well, I don't think it's weird that he was quote unquote asleep. I find it weird that sleep is the word that he used, but I guess it's accurate because he wasn't himself either way. But it's just like when you think of sleep, you actually think of a nigga being unconscious and he's fighting S-class hero, quote unquote sleep. So it's just a weird word to describe that. So I don't really feel any way towards it because he pretty much got his shit rocked and he came back to his senses very early in the fight. So yeah, I wouldn't have liked it if we kept it that way for a majority of the fight, and then it was like something that made Garou get an advantage over Darkshine.
Yeah, he annihilated Puri in his sleep.
Yeah,
That's pretty bad.
I agree with Satsuki in the sense that sleep was a bit of a weird word. I felt. I mean, like we've seen it in animes and mangas before, right? Where someone will fight unconscious. It's probably happened in Naruto and Bleach a whole bunch of times. But sleep was a bit of a weird one. And I felt like it was a bit more disrespectful, like coming from Garou, like, oh yeah, I was asleep. It sounds worse than, oh yeah, I was unconscious and just fighting you like subconsciously. I thought it was just like
muscle
flex.
memory kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's almost like saying, you know, I'm such a badass that even when asleep, I was putting in some work. And even though he didn't actually hurt Darkshine, you have Puri kind of lying down half dead. So yeah, I think it was a major flex.
I like Darkshine's response to that though. He's like, "Bitch, stop making excuses." He's like, "Nah, I just rocked you. That's it."
See, what I thought was really cool though was later on, Darkshine actually acknowledges the fact that, oh shit, maybe he was asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a pretty clear thinking guy, from what it seems like. He's not a musclehead or like as like single musclehead focused like mindset as I thought before from his dialogue and like the initial interactions. Like for example, whenever he's up against the executives or saving the executives, he was like, "Hey, let me flex and get a focus on my muscles and shit." Like that was some real meathead type shit. But like, not only with that statement, but he also offered Garou a chance of redemption, quote unquote. So we know he has like the ability to acknowledge morals even for a murderous guy like him. And then he has that whole hero philosophy. And it looks like out of all the characters that have like spewed about, like justice and shit like that, he's probably one of the most radical ones. Or it seems like he champions that more than others would. We got like a Moomin Rider who's like probably like the most justice oriented nigga out there. Every part of his dialogue is fucking justice something. Like fucking it's like Naruto and Date Bayo, like I'm gonna ride this bike, justice. So like,
believe it.
I did find that like his like mental clarity was interesting in the small instances that we got of it.
He's a pretty nice dude though. He looked actually concerned for Garou when he woke up. He looked surprised at first and he was like, "Oh, you good? What happened out there?"
Yeah, he's super respectful as well. I mean, just talking about like the other S-class heroes, he uses like Kun or Sun, which is like basically saying, "Oh, well, if you fought against Mr. Atomic or Miss Tatsumaki or Mr. King, you'd lose to them because they're just on another level. You got lucky."
Tell him twice. We should probably adhere a little bit more to the chapter though. So in his sleeping state, we got a fucking like. I'm amazed that nobody's used it as a thumbnail yet, but Darkshine looks like I don't know, bro. Megazord in a tank bed. Like I don't know how to properly describe it, bro. He's sitting out there flexed up with his chest out, like basically telling the Garou, "Here, punch some of this." And bro, Garou's going ham, bro. Like after image after image, just throwing punches at his head, chest, stomach. Looks like maybe his groin and shit through around there and shit like that. Like this
wait, he punched him in the dick and he didn't react. His dick the tank.
I would have liked it if he actually made it real apparent that he did punch him in the dick, but he definitely punched him in like his inner thighs.
For sure. But you see that little like there's some scuff marks next to Garou's junk that happened to be real close to Darkshine's junk. So you know, I don't know, but like this is just like it's hard because there's so many panels like this in this chapter that you can derive so much from or talk so much about. So like, just start. I guess we could just start with this one. Like, this nigga's big as hell. It's just like an actual scaling of him to Darkshine. Like, have you guys noticed like how the side? Go ahead.
I think we get his height in the data book. Maybe I think he's like 7 feet tall or something.
I'll double check
Close to
that.
it. I think he's like 6'8" or no. I think he's like 7'8" because I remember that he's shorter than Boros, and Boros is like 9 feet tall or something. So yeah, he's like 7'8" and 550 pounds. So he'd be like,
What the fuck?
I don't know, Yao Ming
God
on
dang.
steroids.
What the fuck?
Actually, I think Yao Ming is slightly shorter.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I can't think of a 7'8" guy, but
Who
you get the
could?
idea.
It's scary.
Another Chinese guy.
Would you guys?
The meaty part of freaking Darkshine's lat is as big as Garou's torso, man. Holy crap.
It's like a child fighting an adult, basically. Except on a whole nother level.
It's a child fighting Nani.
And I think Garou might be like 5'9" or something.
the fact that he's just taking this full assault, like after Pooty, like just one. Oh my god, bruh, Neon slashed the hell out of Pussy's bris arm.
Do you want to take a second run at that?
You can always edit it out later.
No, he leaves.
Don't do that.
Yeah, leave that. So Neon slashed through the bristle armor, right? Even though he's able to withstand it, he still had some marks on his chest. Garou comes in, fucking just collapses that nigga's chest, bro. Collapses that shit. How durable is this nigga, bro? Like, have we really seen anything to challenge that? Like, this may seem blasphemous, but maybe you guys with your contrasting ideas can change my mind. We haven't seen Darkshine's durability still.
No, you're right. I mean, throughout the whole chapter, he didn't take any damage. Like even Garou's like Dragon Slayer fist at this point still hasn't hurt him.
We haven't gotten a limit to it. This is jumping ahead, and I know we'll talk about it more later. But he talked about how Bang basically could whoop his ass, but it still would never hurt him. So, like, when it comes to him actually feeling pain and having damage or being damaged enough to like knock him out or kill him or anything like that, we don't know what that limit is so far.
I think he says when he's going against Bug God that he doesn't even know himself what it takes to do that.
Yeah, but like, I kind of saw that as like boasting, and because we still haven't seen any like marker for that, it makes me really uneasy to like think about this guy's durability like that, because it's.
I mean, I just think he's obviously been around the block. He started from the very bottom of the Hero Association and made it to the top. And he trained, or he alleges that he trained like crazy to get to where he is. And that he's quote unquote has different training than Puri Puri Prisoner and Tank Top Master, whatever that means. So whatever he is right now is different than just working out. And I assume that he's taken a whole bunch of damage, fought a whole bunch of monsters that are super powerful, because like he doesn't have a guard. He just like, you walk up to him and you hit him and then see what happens. So I assume that no one has ever hurt him and that he hasn't even hurt himself.
Feet right there, quote unquote. Hop in the comment section. Make sure you look out for the next time that Darkshine blocks. If Darkshine blocks,
Actually, he did it this chapter.
He blocked through?
Yes,
Yeah,
he
at
blocks
the
with
end.
both forearms.
No, I'm not saying he never blocks, but I'm saying whenever he starts off in a fight, you never see him like guarding. He's just like, come at me. Let's see what happens.
What the fuck? When did he block this chapter?
He puts his arms up in like a tie guard.
Oh yeah, no, he did that to Pil God too. Okay. I still think that sentiment makes sense though, because he tanks everything like just nonchalant. That's his.
Bruh.
I agree with what you're saying. Go ahead.
When you talk about that one panel where he's like just standing, he's basically letting Garou attack him. Hemmings said something. Shout out to Hemmings. Said something that was funny to me. It's like when characters have the ability to dodge, but they just don't for some reason. Because like he has the speed to dodge that shit. I'm not saying he gonna dodge every single hit, but he's just like, nah, nigga, I'm gonna let you hit me. like why are you just sitting there getting hit? And maybe it's like a strategical thing to where it's like, okay, you hit me, you get close enough to me, then I counter. But he's not even trying to counter. He has his hands up in the air. Shit.
I think
It could just be a power scaling, like to see what they're capable of at that moment, and then he just kind of fights accordingly afterwards.
Maybe because he did say that like. Well, this may not go in direct accordance with what you just said, but he did mention that like he's been looking for, a challenge or something to really test his abilities. He even said that at the beginning of this fight. So I definitely think there could be some bravado included in what Satsuki's alluding to. Like, why is this nigga just sitting there like taking that shit? It's because he waiting to see if you gonna hurt him.
Yeah, but then near the end as well, where he's kind of like, he's just like, I'll wait for a moment in between his attacks and then I'll attack. And he realizes there is no moment coming. So I think it's part of his plan as well, where he's just kind of, it's a battle of attrition, right? He's waiting for you to tire out a bit so he can stick a finger up your ass.
What? What?
It would be a big finger.
No, I'm glad he warned us because I already know that.
If that's how he wins the fight, I might drop One Punch Man.
Hey, Kakashi did it.
I was gonna say it's a cool back
Yeah.
to Naruto.
Yeah. Hey, man, I never looked at Kakashi the same after that. I was like, keep that mask on. I don't want to see your face anymore.
It'd be a very Escanor kind of move because of his Escanor spear.
Oh no, that was my favorite chapter of Seven Deadly Sins, where Estarossa was fighting Escanor, then Escanor stuck the finger up his ass. And
I'm like, what the fuck? There's a sequence here that I was having trouble understanding. It's actually immediately right after the panel we were just talking about. So he's all in his buffed up form. He has his hands crossed, and it looks like the first panel of the three is him moving his arms inward. That's what the motion like seems. But then Garou's thrown back, so I think he's like flexing at the same time, because that's why his back muscles and traps are protruding like disgustingly like that. Like that's nasty. That's fucking gross. But then Garou hits the wall, and then like on the third panel, like Garou has already went through several walls, and Darkshine's in a different stance than he was originally. So I'm wondering, is his flexing what made him go into the wall, or did Darkshine tackle him, or lead with his shoulder after he had went into the wall from the flex? Like, is it two separate actions, or did Garou go flying because of one thing, or were there two separate actions?
I think it was two separate. One to get him midair where he couldn't do anything, and then he goes in for the tackle, and that further drives him through the wall.
Yep, I agree with that.
Okay, yeah, that's what it seems like then for sure. That's fucking crazy. This is an animal.
But hey, Grimm, you get circular hallways. Why aren't you talking about that?
Bro. Low key, I did notice that like this is characteristic too, because I was talking shit about season 2 about this, but this is actually uniform in the manga. How like the backgrounds disappear whenever there's certain motion going on, and it's only sometimes, and it's certain motion. Like I mean that in particular. Like Orochi's blast, that shit wasn't fucking non-backgroundless. So like, there's plenty of instances where it's not. The majority of times it's not. But other times when it's like speed depictions or like quick action depictions or like, you know, Garou twisting his leg mid-air to block Genos' like coming cannon or whatever and shit like that, there's the background is speed march or lines going up and down or whatever. And I was kind of disappointed that we were having like so many of those in the fight, but it's more my own like preference. I gotta remember, like, this is how Murata displays speed. It doesn't matter how I want, it's how he's going to do it. So, but the nigga, them hallways, bro, like, shit, the one where Pootie's lay down in the back, nigga, that's a real hallway right there, bro. It's extra square. Like, you can see, like, it almost looks as if like he used a ruler to like get in the exact dimensions and shit, because the lines, like, good job, bro.
I actually did get a ruler.
And you measured it?
No, I just got a ruler.
So like I have a question for you, Zhoniin. So like, you know how sometimes we get like the silhouettes of characters, or we'll get the like the scary face, right? The shape monster face. For Garou, we got it in a tank top fight, I believe, where that like that yellow like monster's face of aura is shaped behind them, right?
Yeah, Stain has that in My Hero Academia too. Fun fact.
Exactly, yeah, trash hero. So we've seen that several times in One Punch as well. So is that technique what's going on with like the different depictions of Darkshine? Because I don't think it's like something that we can like act like it's not happening. Like consistent, like not in when we first got him in the hero meeting, he does have a different design than he does now. Just like Child Emperor does. Designs have changed over time. But in the same chapter, in the same arc, his like physical appearance is greatly morphing, or it's depicted differently. Like on the page where Pootie's laid down saying Darkshine, the bottom panel of Pootie, nigga, that shit looks way different than the other Cogniza ones. But that shit is like, god damn, bro. Like, that's that. Whoa, bro, he's strong as hell. So I'm wondering, in the webcomic, does one do that? Does one vary how he's drawing Darkshine? And is that supposed to depict like a story element? Like, is he communicating something to us with that? Like, is Murata doing that as well? Or like,
absolutely.
So one did that as well as Murata?
Yes. Murata's kind of picking up where one is leaving Darkshine in this chapter. I mean, Murata does take a lot of liberties sometimes with character designs as well as like the evolution of them. But this specifically with Darkshine is very prominent in the webcomic. Like, he'll be just normal, you know, Darkshine when he's kind of like a passive mode. And then when he goes into like aggressive offensive mode, then he just like what he draws in the webcomic is he like darkens the like the lines around him and shades him more and just makes him like, you know, more buff and loses like his eye, like the sclera in his eyes. Kind of like how in this chapter when he's like, then allow me to end it right here. And then he like starts flexing, his traps like become like disproportionately big, like Toguro or something. That's straight out of the webcomic. So I guess it's just trying to show that like Darkshine has like a duality to him. Like, he's like a really nice guy, but like he could just flip that switch and then he just becomes like pretty much a monster.
100%. Okay, that makes 100% sense. It's emphasizing like his personality. Okay, bad facts. It's fucking badass. So then
seems like we're getting that more with the S class. Like, there's a lot of them like that, and of course the A class with a My Mask as well.
What do you mean that? Like, could you elaborate?
It's just like that there's this duality. It's like you can be the nicest person in the room, and then next thing you know, you're borderline monster in human form. It's kind of scary that we're seeing more characters as the series goes on that's like this, that are supposed to be for the good guys.
Yeah, that's what I like about the S class, to be fair. The fact that, you know, the pinnacle of humanity is basically monstrosity, right?
Well, that's how it is in real life too. Like, the best people in the world like are like extremes. They're extremophiles. Like, nigga, like it's like the whole what the fuck is it? That whole political argument for like why women aren't in like higher positions in like companies like that. It's not because of like any discrimination. It's because the type of person that gets into like those executive jobs is not normal. Like normal men don't do what you have to do to like be an executive. Like most men can't do what you have to do to be an executive in a company. So it's not like really like anything discriminating like that. It's most niggas, most people can't do that. And when you can achieve those great feats, it's because you're an extreme. And that's the same case here. To me, that makes sense. Like these niggas are like, you're gonna have to be crazy to do crazy shit. Basically, that's how I feel. Okay. So one thing that I also found really really weird, and I want to see you guys' opinion on it, is these like spinning thing that he did around Darkshine before trying to kick him. Watchdog vibes, or like, is this uncharacteristic of Garou? Like, how did you guys feel about that?
What I thought about when I seen that was some of the stuff that we've seen for Sonic, some of the stuff earlier for Drive Night. I just felt like he was trying to create a whole bunch of, like, goddamn. He was trying to create a lot of after images. That's what I thought of. I don't know if he tried to copy somebody, because I don't think Garou has interacted with Sonic, but that's just what I thought of when I seen it.
Yeah, I thought it was just him adapting to the fight, because obviously he tried to take on Darkshine head on. It obviously didn't work, so it's just him being like, well, if I can't take him on in one direction, let's try to take him on from every direction instead.
Very true.
Well, I mean, I think it also goes into like his feral state that he's in, because what he calls being asleep, he's kind of just like fighting recklessly, and he's running around in circles as fast as he can. It's also showing how fast he's become, because I thought the same thing. I thought that like, oh, this looks like something Sonic would do, or Flashy Flash. So I suppose he's like reaching that level of speed, but obviously, of course, not quite there. And he's kind of just doing like a fighting style that he wouldn't typically do. That's why he's like, oh, now that I'm awake, I'm sorry if I made you think that you were going to win, which is an awesome line, by the way.
Yeah. This nigga a savage, bro. But yeah, I definitely agree that like this, like that instance was definitely like not in his regular arsenal. But I was just wondering like if anybody related it to anything. So is Darkshine as fast as anybody we've seen?
See, I thought about this when I saw this attack, because he lands that punch on Garou while he's speed blitzing him. And I'm not sure if that means he's just... Well, it means one of a couple of things, maybe even a third thing. Either he can move as fast as Garou, which I doubt. I think what it might be is just that he can mentally process things as fast as Garou was moving. Because it wasn't really that he kept up with him. He just predicted where I think he was going to go and hit that spot.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think he's like fast, but his speed comes from like his reflexes and experience and timing. And then also like when he launches himself at Garou, when he does like that super crazy tackle thing, that's probably just momentum based. Like he's like, shooting himself off the ground with his feet, like a football player or something. But I don't think he's like super mobile the way that like a Flashy Flash or even Atomic could be.
Well, I don't mean in like that type of mobility, but like that was the second instance I was gonna bring up. The fact that like we literally see Garou take a stance, that iconic stance parallel with Bang or whatever, and we see the distance between them, and then in no time he bridges that gap and he's monstrous, like towering over Garou. So it's like, sure, maybe he can't jump across an entire like cavern like Flashy did, but like, are we really saying that his reflexes aren't crazy for doing this with Garou right now? Like, do we have a true power scale for Garou's speed? Because he should be fast as fuck, like almost as fast as anybody in the S class that we've seen. In excluding the extremophiles, obviously, like Atomic's agility or Flashy's overwhelming distance speed or whatever and stuff like that. But like, is he really that much slower than Bang right now?
I don't know. I'm trying to think about if we can like definitively say how fast he is, which I don't know. We never really can say for any character, honestly. But if we go back to like Hero Hunter Garou, peak Hero Hunter Garou facing off against Genos, who was in his EC form, he was keeping up with him. And G4 Genos, who was the predecessor to EC, was keeping up with Sonic. So if we assume that EC Genos is faster than G4 Genos, and Hero Hunter Garou was able to keep up with him, and he's obviously progressed like a whole new plateau since then, he's probably just as fast, if not maybe even faster than like Sonic.
I mean, we visibly can't see him
Bro,
when
what's
he
with the
does that
Sonic
whole.
hype?
Because Sonic
He's
can
just
be
a
hyped
speedster.
sometimes.
Nah, bro, I don't like.
Wait, you're asking what's with the Sonic hype when we're talking about speed?
I'm just saying, bro, like when I think of like top tiers of speed, like I don't think Sonic. Maybe it's because I'm including his like overall power level when I shouldn't, but like he's just.
But
fast.
didn't you just say don't compare him to Flashy because he's too fast? So the next step down is pretty much Sonic.
No, it would be. It'd be the ninjas technically. It'd be or Saitama. Well, realistically, it'd be Flashy, the ninjas, and then arguably, yeah, you're right, Sonic, or if not, yeah, because none of the samurai guys actually move distance wise like that. So yeah, it'd be Sonic, but like, I guess I'm saying that like the ninjas like embarrassing that nigga, and then losing to Flashy has dropped Sonic stock in my opinion. Even though it's not directly correlated and the person that they lost to was Flashy, it's still to me, I guess, is like degrading my opinion of Sonic. Maybe also the fact that he hasn't been relevant in quite a while, that I don't expect him to come back into the story and be like fucking with some of these niggas. Like Genos, I don't think Genos versus Sonic is a thing anymore.
I mean, Sonic's lost a lot of weight from all the diarrhea, so
That made him faster.
That boy moving.
It's canon.
Running light.
So then are we agreeing that like Darkshine speed is like reflex based? And are you guys limiting that? Because I think like, for example, like if the ninjas popped up behind Darkshine, I think he'd be able to react to one of them.
I think so.
I think that's
Maybe
a
not
safe
Flashy
assumption.
Flash, but Sonic and maybe Hellfire and Gale in their monster forms, and that's a big maybe.
I mean, Brave was able to react, and they were all nerfed by water, so I don't think like Darkshine should be too incapacitated by it. I don't know, but that was impressive to see him like have all those after images coming from different sides, and then he just chooses the right one, perceptiveness and speed, and then that quote: "Your monster play ends here." This is where we get into that whole philosophy discussion about like that whole like you're doing wrong and like do right type shit, like, you know, lording over correctness, lording correctness over Garou. So like, what do you guys feel about this whole monster play conversation that's about to occur in Garou waking up?
I think he just doesn't respect Garou. Well, at first he didn't. Because he just sees this like young dude going around beating up heroes, getting lucky because he knows he's like he's not believing the hype because like, you know, he put it out. He was like, you got lucky, which he kind of did. Like we saw when he went against one of the more powerful S-class heroes in Watchdog, man, he got fucking destroyed. So like if he would have ran into, you know, somebody else, then there would be pretty much no Garou at this point. So he's like, you know what, I'm not buying it. You know, you're just putting on a monster play, which could take many translations. This is how it's said in the webcomic originally. So I think that's why they went with this. But he also is like saying monster game just playing monster. Like, you're not like a monster. You're just acting like you are. But little does he know that Garou is straight up becoming a monster, or somewhere in between, like Giro says.
Yeah. Look, what Shona just said, his last statement right there, I think that's really why Darkshine has this animosity towards Garou, is because it's one thing if you're just a monster straight up, like you ate a monster cell and you got the appearance of a monster and you just, it's in your DNA. But since Garou's still a human, because we're all projecting him to turn into a monster eventually, it's kind of like what Shona said, he's just the role of a monster. And that probably offends Darkshine, because your humanity is still there. It's just that you're basically a wannabe.
I agree with what everyone's been saying. It's all just a game. At least that's how Darkshine sees it. It's like, why are you putting on the mask of a monster? You're not one. So stop this crap now. And then later on, he's like, why didn't you just become a hero? It's like, I still see the potential in you. Basically, it's like turn around now while you still got a chance. So he sees potential in a person who's horribly misguided.
Yeah, it's kind of like with like a dad who has a kid, and the kid is, let's say he's into anime, for example, and he's like, oh, that's fine, but then it goes on for too long, and then he's like, get out of this, grow up, and then he's like, it's not a phase, Dad. This is a thing. That's probably the best way I can compare this to.
Sounds like personal experience.
Is this a a backstory? Is this a backstory, man?
That's what it is.
No.
Confirmed backstory
I just have a friend who told me this. That's all, guys.
Still watching that stupid anime, man. Stop watching that shit. It's fucking gay.
They're bloody Chinese cartoon.
My parents don't even know what anime is.
Oh shit! No, that's 100% true, bro. Like, I don't know how many times I had to tell my dad, like, bruh, I'm doing this. I don't care, right? He's told me to fucking make videos on, like, fucking all kinds of bottle caps, like, stupid.
Please,
stupid ass. Bro, I'm telling you, like, let's open up a taco stand. Yo, shut the fuck up, dog. Like, what are you talking about?
I need next 100 subs. I want that bottle cap video. Like,
do it April Fool's Day.
Oh shit!
Nobody.
And then do another one on April 2nd.
Oh shit! No, but yeah, I definitely agree. Like, I definitely had to go through that same turmoil or whatever. But it's probably similar to Garou or some shit like that. You're right, no, bro. Like, his daddy was telling him, like, look, I'm tired of you fucking watching all this anime and shit with monsters winning. Hop on these heroes, nigga. And then Garou got mad about this shit, bro. He got mad. Did you guys notice, like, how fast Garou realized who it was?
Wait, what?
Did you guys notice how fast Garou realized who he was fighting?
Oh shit, Darkshine. Where's the kid? That's what I actually noticed. He one of the first things, I think it's like he notices 4 things. He's like who he's fighting against. It's Darkshine. Then I think he asks where he where's Orochi? And then the 4th thing he remembers is, yo, where'd that little shithead go?
Yep.
So I like the fact that even though he's like on the doorstep of monsterization, he's still there thinking about Tario.
But I mean, he definitely knows that Darkshine is one of the strongest. Like, Garou knows his shit, at least when it comes to like the S-class heroes. Like, he did his homework beforehand when he was going on his hero hunt, and he knew who he could take, and he knew who he probably couldn't take. That's why, like, he went after Tank Top Master initially, or went after one of the Tank Tops, which led Tank Top Master to him. That's why he's like, if my attacks can work on you, then that pretty much proves I could take anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt you guys all like remember this exactly, but there was a scene a while ago where like once Garou started the hero hunt, he's got like pictures of all the heroes on the wall. He's got King in the middle, as like King's is like top goal, the strongest human. I don't know if this is there because I can't remember. Is Darkshine's like face anywhere near the center? It's like such an obscure thing. I doubt you'll know it, but
It should be like chapter 82, I think 81.
no, it's a while before then.
Nah, that was when he was in the little shed thingy with Tario, right?
This might have been before he met Tario.
I think that's even like just before he fights Metal Battle or something.
Bro, I remember because I agree the shed was there since the beginning, but like in that shed, whenever he woke up from being fucked over or some shit like that. Fuck, maybe I am seeing the board.
Yeah, he got fucked up by King, is what you're thinking of.
Yeah. But then, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't remember seeing. Yeah, I remember the board, but I don't remember if it was then or if that was the only time we saw it. Damn. That is pretty badass that he was able to, like, I guess, plan his entire, like, assault journey. And he's really, really succeeded throughout the entire way, like, with all the hiccups of, like, Orochi and Garou and shit like that. And that's you know, obviously you're over. That was quite a hiccup. But, nah, it's just, like, he's definitely prepared. Like, he has definitely done his research and shit. And I do agree that, like, even though he's on the verge of being monsterfied, seeing this instance of Tario and his care for Tario, the second thing he thinks about once he wakes up, or the third, obviously, because Darkshine's from him. But yeah, that was really, like, revealing as to, like, the future of Garou. Because I think we posed this question before, but, like, just to pose it again since we're at this instance now, is Garou gonna repent from his sins? Or is this a monster?
What sins? He ain't do nothing wrong.
Yeah, he's actually one of the few people who's actually done something right.
Yeah,
all right,
pretty
so,
much.
Sorry to interrupt, Matt, but this is going to play into what you said. It's in chapter 52. And King is in the middle. And then we see Tank Top Master, Blue Flame, who he crosses off, and then the other A-class heroes. But then all we can really see, or at least all I can really see, is Tatsumaki and Watchdog Man. And then, yeah, you know what? Darkshine is on his wall.
Is that a guide to who we're going to see him fight? Because he's hit all those points, right? Or could it be that, like, some of the pictures that are on the wall were put there after the fact?
No, he's got... Sorry, I'm just looking at this picture too. He's got a few, like, I think he's got Fubuki on the wall.
Yeah, it looks like her.
Yo, tie me up, girl. Hell nah, bruh.
Like, I recognize some of these characters. I just don't remember all their names.
It looks like he has maybe Zombie Man in the bottom left. Then, of course, Watchdog Man. And then I guess that's like a Mind Mask.
Actually, I think Zombie Man is the one that's just left bottom of the
with
light
like
bulb.
his collar over his face.
He's kind of turning his head, looking back.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So are these like they are photos, right? Which then makes you wonder where he's getting some of these photos.
Well, they're like famous.
Well, I know, but like,
you think he's
just
like
kind of
taking
odd.
them himself?
It'd be funny. It'd be like a One Piece kind of thing with all the wanted posters. It's like, hey, can I get your photo? And like, no one just really
Garou
thinks
ain't
about
going
it.
around with a camera.
It'd be hilarious. That would have been the perfect like side bonus chapter.
Make a video about it.
A what if he walked around with a camera?
Yo, this is getting fucking savage, bro. Stop doing that.
I'm saying you guys are laughing, but every time I tell you to do it and you do it, you get thousands of views.
I mean, Grimm, to be fair, we did talk to you about Pig God and Elder Centipede.
Yeah, I guess that was a joke too.
It really was a joke. Yes. Oh shit, bro. All right. Let's keep it pushing.
So, like, when Darkshine says, "If you fully repent," what does that even mean? Like, goes to jail or something, or does community service?
Well, I'm assuming that because, like, because of the exception with Pooty Pooty, that Darkshine's gonna be saying that like a guy this strong should also be able to like get an exception. Because Pooty Pooty's like, he's raping niggas, like not heroes only, but regular niggas. Like that's both over like abuse of his power or whatever, and taking cheeks without permission. Like that's a big no. So like, go ahead.
It's a weird word to say repent. I think he should say like maybe if you just like, I don't know, get in the mindset of a hero. But repent is such a strong word because it implies that he has to think about like all the actions he's done, and he has to try to work towards kind of mending things. And I don't think he's fought heroes. At the end of the day, Garou isn't. He may have done some bad things. You could look at it as bad, but he's not beating the asses of civilians. In fact, with Tario, he's actually been keeping them safe a lot of the time. So I'm not saying Garou is, of course, a hero or anything like that, but he hasn't. I don't see him doing anything so reprehensible that Darkshine should be talking to him the way he has, especially when you have Puri literally on the floor, like you already said. This nigga is taking cheats. He is raping niggas, and Darkshine ain't saying nothing about him. He gotta repent, nigga. He out of jail right now.
I think Puri might be like the Dexter of raping.
He only rapes the rapists.
Yeah, and bad people. So they're like it's okay.
Oh my god!
I do think that like the repent thing is either like a translation issue, or
no. I mean, it actually says atone, but it's basically the same thing.
Oh, no, for sure. But like, yeah, they mean the same thing. Yeah, to like, it's a deep consideration of an issue, and you're gonna like adjust it. But like, the reason why I like it is because it helps like, or at least this is the key word that helps me like think of like this man is having like an ideal. Like he supports the ideal of like heroism. Like that's what he goes on in his head. Like the details and like the specifics of it don't really matter. It's like, okay, this is a task that like I have to do. Like I have to help. That's correct for me. That's what should be done. And he does it, no matter the issue, no matter the struggle. That's his ideology. And like, to me, that word addresses that the most, man. Like, especially with how this nigga's acting. We talked about it before. He's super fucking nice, and he like believes in good. This is an ideal hero, bruh. This low key might be the fucking Murata or one adopting a version of Superman. Like it really might be that shit. That like, oh, a guy that's infallible, all powerful, does nothing wrong, and pushes justice on everybody. Like, tell me that doesn't at least to a certain extent correlate with Darkshine. I know we
already have a Superman in the S class, but that's a topic for another time. But I agree with what you're saying for the most part. I actually feel like if Garou was just like, okay, I will, he would have just, and Darkshine would be like, okay, let's go. And then I don't think he would have like tried to beat him up or kill him or anything any further. He would have just like, okay, let's go back to the Hero Association, or let me handcuff you or something. But if it was like Atomic Samurai or Flashy Flash or Genos, they'd be like, no, you're fucking dead. You can't talk your way out of this.
Bruh, Atomic killed his best friend right there, bro. Garou died, no chance, right? Flashy? Nigga. Flashy been killing niggas behind niggas' backs, right? That's so easy, bro. He's, oh, you a monster, huh? Oh, shit. No, but I definitely like, yeah, that hero line was fucking, that was some badass banter right there. Did you guys notice the parallel? I think Vib or HTX dropped it at the end of the manga dex translation. The panel of Bang getting in a stance and Garou getting in that same stance. Now this is obviously symbolic, but there's a lot of things that can be pulled from it. So like, is Garou the same? Is this starting to symbolize Garou as an equivalent to Bang? Is this trying to symbolize Garou's new growth as being this? He had a smile, a nice calm smile, instead of like his usual devious shit that was in the other parts of the chapter or every other chapter. It was different. It was a different like facial expression. So Garou is different right now. So what did you guys think of like that whole parallel? What did you take from it? What's up?
He's on the cusp of overtaking Bang and being stronger than his teacher. I don't think he's there yet, but I believe it may happen after this fight because I do think Garo's going to win because we've already seen he's adapting and he's adapting and he's adapting, and even Darkshine said that defeat crossed his mind while going into this fight or while he mid fight. So it's the fact that he's beating Darkshine, who Darkshine already power scaled himself by acknowledging that Bane could beat him up but couldn't hurt him. If Garou is able to beat him and hurt him, then that would show that he's better than Bane, or at least comparable to him in the same vein. So I do think he's gonna reach his level after this fight.
See, I didn't see it as like a comparison to Bang in the sense of he's overtaking him or he's getting close to his power level or something like that. I saw it more along the lines of even though Garou's becoming more monstrous, he's still using the same techniques that he was taught by a human, by his master. And no matter how monstrous he becomes, he's only ever using those same techniques. And even in the end, he's using the technique what was it called? The Dragon Slayer technique? Which is a combination of both his master and his master's brother. So he's still using human-made techniques, no matter how monstrous he becomes, which kind of shows that duality of Garou again, which is he's kind of playing monster, even though he doesn't really want to be a monster per se. I mean, like, just in this, I think it's in the panel below, we have him saying that he's going to annihilate both the Monster Association and the Hero Association. So he's that kind of in between.
Yeah, I think it's just a great comparison to show, like, I think obviously just how crazy Garou's growth is, because obviously, like, you know, I was actually, like, literally the day before, I was looking at the old panel of like where Garou and Bang face off, because I love that comparison between the two, how rough Garou's style is compared to Bang's, and then just how crazy his growth is over the few days that he's been since he fought against Bang. His style is that similar to him now. His growth is the decades of experience Bang's got to get to that stage. Garou has achieved within a few days or a couple of weeks even.
I'm going to agree more with Satsuki. I think it probably does mean that he is not so much going to like Bang, but like Bang's mastery of the water stream, because like Matt said, it was rough before. It wasn't like the perfect stance that he has now. It was kind of like his hands were kind of like bent. He was kind of like hunched over. But this is just showing that he's improved the water stream that much. And he has kind of, I don't know, reverted back in this instance to more human, because like both of his eyes are like normal. Now, either that was a mistake by Barada, and I don't think it was. I think it was like 100%. Garou's kind of like going between like the stages during this fight. Like first he's a feral and he's asleep, then he wakes up, and then he's like in his half monster form, like one eye is red, and then it comes back, and then they're both normal, and then by the end of the chapter he's closer to a monster than he's ever been. And I mean, he's close to Bang. Obviously he's not there because Darkshine points it out. He's like, I've gone against Bang, he's pretty much perfect. I wasn't even able to hit him once. I can hit, but you know, he's still, you know, Garou still gives him the work still, but it's just showing his evolution.
It's fucking badass looking too, bro. This is like a really good panel to have the white background on, like that shit, like especially the back one, like that's like, and that smile, bro, like it's just like it's so full circle, bro. Like it was satisfying seeing that panel, like oddly satisfying. I like that. The panel right after it though, this is panel of the week conversation. This is another one that I'm surprised. It is a lot of shit that we should use for thumbnails, but like, bro, like the shading, like, bro, this shit looks good as I can't even say it, bro.
Oh, it look pretty nice. That when they showed the last page of like the parallels and whatnot between Garou and Bang, um that whole stance and the whole close up was like similar to when Garou fought Bang. So I appreciated it. It just looked dope. And it's the one time, even though like we like the backgrounds and whatnot, a lot of the times the all white backgrounds aren't like inherently bad because it just puts emphasis on the close ups and stuff that we're really supposed to be paying attention to. So I liked it.
No, I think it looks amazing. Of course, like obviously it's One Punch Man. The art's great, but I don't know. I just feel like this chapter's art in particular was really good. Like I feel like it's like the shading. I think is one big thing because it's in a dark area, and you get like a real sense that it's like a dimly lit place. Like just how many just the use of shadows in this whole chapter is amazing. When it's white background or later on like Sundown said where like Darkshine is he's just like drawn very simply, very white. It emphasizes everything so much better. It's gorgeous and I love that. I don't know if Garou does that, but like he has his little touch of like where like he moves his hand a little like come at me. I'm not sure if I'm looking that wrong, but
Just Darkshine's stance right there, like I thought it was just more posing and flexing like he did up against Bug God, but I feel like this is an attack stance. Like any like thoughts on that, like pivot foot or like
It
Wait,
looks
you
like
cut out.
It looks like a bodybuilding stance to me.
That's
Like, you know,
definitely what I see.
The kind of the not called street, the Mr. Universe. He's got his toes flexed. He's got his torso turned sideways. Yeah, that's definitely he's flexing to please the crowd there, which I thought was pretty funny because you have Garou going into attack mode, getting ready to kill someone, and he's there still kind of not really playing, but like it looks like he's playing.
If that's a battle stance, like that's the pimp hand treatment. He got his hand caught back, open, hands open, like he ready to slap the shit out of a motherfucker.
that's what I'm saying, bro. It's like he punched him with his left hand, so he's got that one. That's the one that's cocked back. He's got that pivot foot pointed out, toes out, and everything. And Perrier, the whole ballet shit, bro. That nigga's ready to drop some cannons on him, and that's exactly what the fuck he did. So I'm like, that's gotta be a battle stance. His battle stance is to be like bodybuilding stances, but this is like the only time that we see like him go from the stance and transition into the attack like that. Like I don't know, man. Just chapters like art and position, like that's oddly good. Like seeing exactly your pose in the attack before the attack, and then how you go into it. That's fucking badass. I like that shit. You don't get that because it's a manga. It's not animated, but that's fucking badass, bro. Garou looks big as fuck. Comparing him to when he fought Rover, he looks big as fuck.
Yeah, true.
Then he puts him on his neck, bro. Like, I want to give that extra consideration because this means a lot. Like, this may be one of the more significant things in the entire fight right here. Out of like 5, 6 significant things, this has to be like 4, 3. We haven't seen this man go on his back, be on the floor, be thrown down. We haven't seen it. It seems to be that like other forces just like bounce off him and shit, or he just obliterates other things. Like this nigga doesn't even move. Like shit hits him and he doesn't move, but he just got fucking drilled into the ground. And I know it was mentioned before that even Bang himself couldn't really hurt Darkshine. He could just like frustrate him and deflect his attacks, pin him down or whatever, but he never really got a chance to hurt him. I don't know if that was because, as was mentioned, that he was not the aggressor, so he had no true intention of hurting him, or if like he just really couldn't get through him. But that,
I mean, also they were sparring.
I mean, but his quote made it seem as if like he had the expectation to be hurt by fighting him, and not like casually, accidentally. Like he expected the confrontation to inquire some pain or something like that, or that he was even trying to hurt him. I didn't really get a sense that it was like Bang was running away the whole time and like Darkshine was chasing after him. It was like Darkshine was like pestering him to spar. Bang agreed, and then Bang started to monopolize the fight. That's
but I'm assuming that like if Bang was going to hurt somebody like Darkshine, he'd have to go 100% and like try his hardest, kind of like against Elder Centipede.
I don't know, bro. This chapter in general means a lot for Bang stocks indirectly. I'm just saying like him. What are your opinions first of all on Garou driving Darkshine into the ground right after he deflected one of his big ass punches and shit?
What I took away from it is what you said, something that you said on Twitter. I don't know how long ago it was, months ago. You said Murata is a racist. I may have to put stock into that, man.
What?
You can't do this on Black History Month. Do you see how laid out Darkshine was? Look at this shit. He was laid the fuck out. I know he got right back up, but like this face. Oh my god.
That is the when you nut but she keeps sucking face.
Like his soul looks gone from his face. Like that's like when Debo that's when Debo got his ass whooped. Like that's the type of shit that's the vibes I got. I'm like, god damn. I was like, that nigga dead. I was like, yeah, that nigga dead. All right.
Yeah, I was worried for Darkshine. I was like, oh shit, this fight took a turn, didn't it?
Man, that was wild. But that counterattack was smooth. Came in there with the big boy fist, and then Garou countered with the kick and just laid his ass out. Woo.
Yeah, I love that as well, because I don't know if it was intentional, but it calls back to what Tantop said originally about Garou. What makes him dangerous to other monsters is he doesn't thrash about. He uses technique, and that he pinpoints against humans. And we see that obviously like throughout the whole thing, like when he's in his sleep form and he's like more like a monster, thrashing about, not landing a single hit on Darkshine. The moment he wakes up and starts taking it like a human, like a martial artist, that's when he starts landing hits on him that work.
Off the back of that, did you notice how weird his technique was this time around? Because he doesn't kick with his left, which is what you'd assume someone would do in that situation. He kicks with the kind of like spinning back kick using his right leg. So he uses the outside of his right leg, and then he sweeps rather than like using his shin to kick. And I thought that was such a weird way to absolutely decimate freaking Darkshine. Because to be fair, a kick like that is weaker than what would have been his left kick. So he used a weak ass kick and he demolished Darkshine.
Well, you don't. I guess I don't know. I'm thinking it as like the punch was so like heavy that like him deflecting it in that manner allowed him to like use his leverage so that he could get that leg up and deal even more damage. Kind of like use his weight up against him at the most opportunistic time. I don't know. Like we obviously like can draw like several conclusions from like still pictures like that. But he definitely deflected and countered with the foot that like was interior. That's weird. But I looked at that nigga shit. He did that thing to that nigga. What?
A double tap.
Oh shit. Think about it though.
Yeah, I mean, he does this in the webcomic, but Murata makes it look obviously so much better. And expands upon it because you don't see him like set it up the way that he does here. So it's pretty cool to see it. And yeah, now that you mention it, Sundown, he definitely is using it with his lead foot, which is, more typical of like the martial arts style that like the Water Stream is based off of, like Tai Chi and that shit. I'm not saying it's shit, but I'm not like it's not really practical in real life, but like in manga and stuff like that, it's super practical, and you could just do crazy stuff like this.
Yeah, you can't really fight with Tai Chi. It's kung fu, I believe. Tai Chi's like the meditating variant, I believe. So, is this not a parallel to Bang?
The counter?
No, like the direct context of the quote. Like he told us that like Bang could only flip him and deflect him and shit like that, and that's what Garou just did. Not to mention, Matt just made a really cool parallel that like it was once he like cleared up, he started using his water stream against Tank Top when he monopolized the fight, and he cleared up and started using the water stream, and now he's stopping a bazooka. So I guess this is like super crazy to say. Really, really, really dangerous to say and blasphemous to say. Probably the top 10 blasphemous things I've said. But you gotta say it.
I can't say it's a parallel to Bang. One, because the quote that you're talking about came after that whole panel that we're talking about right now with the counter kick. And second is because what he was talking about was Bang like beating him up and him saying that all his attacks were deflected. And in this case, it wasn't deflected. It was just that Garou was a little quicker. And
no, he deflected it too.
I'm talking about the fist.
Yeah, I don't think it was a full deflection. He gathers it above himself. Yeah, it's less a deflection because he doesn't really reroute it. He kind of just lets it glide above him. It's not too much of a deflection.
Yeah, he's like water.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that like the small stream that we see is definitely a hand movement, and it's going towards where the punch is. So I think that like
no doubt.
Yeah. So he parried, deflected, however you want to use it. He definitely did.
Yeah, I would say punch. Parry is a better way of putting it.
But were you saying Satsuki finish?
Oh no. I was just saying like I don't really see it as like what Darkshine was alluded to with his comments about Bang, because he was saying like with Bang he was getting beat down and he couldn't land a single hit on him really. But I don't see this situation being a parallel to what he was talking about.
He was definitely impressed by it. I mean, he's impressed by any being that could do this to him. And he's like, okay, well, you're pretty good, but you're not Bang. Because, like, Bang would have stopped me charging at him.
It's fucking badass the way he hopped up like that, too. And then that stance he took, dropping his shoulder and shit, looking at him.
Horizontal flip.
Hell yeah, but then, bro, he just dipped that shoulder. Just look at him like that, like, nigga.
There's a JoJo pose right there.
But that's what I was going to say earlier, that I think he has, like, JoJo inspiration to him, because the Muscle type shit. It correlates. He does pay homage to like other niggas. He does do that. He does respect other artists and shit like that. So we could call it bodybuilder shit. We could say that. But Darkshine's got to stand, bro.
What?
You heard it here first.
What stand?
You heard it here first.
What is the stand?
So what's the name of the stand?
The stand is called fuck. Damn.
It's got to be named after music, remember?
Heavy metal?
No, that's pretty good.
Wait, the stands are named after music?
Yeah, they've always been.
Well, like there's AC/DC who was in part 2, and then that's
true.
Yeah.
I don't think I have heard that. Well, then I guess he'd be like Chief Keef. I don't know.
Chief Keef.
It's got to be a big buff rapper, right? So who's a big buff rapper? 50 Cent's.
Oh, yeah. 50 Cent. 50 Cent.
Who'd you say?
Nothing, carry on with the chapter.
Usually it's a song reference or whatever.
Oh damn! Candy Shop. That's Darkshine's stand name, Candy Shop. I'll take you to the candy shop.
That's actually something that Araki would probably call one of his things.
He would.
Can he stop really rap for real? Nah.
100%.
I mean, he more so goes after band names, so maybe he'd call like 50 Cent.
Oh shit. But nah, bro, those poses and stances, bro. The art for Darkshine, like, this is crazy what I'm about to say right now too. But low key, I still like the Pooty widespread better.
You had to show me a comparison, so because like I
What
can't
about
think of it right now.
the Vakuma one, where he's like showing where he's throwing the punch.
That one,
That's
and then
good.
like just Pooty art in general. The style for Pooty, I don't want to say like my dick gets the hardest for it, but like I come fast for that shit. Like,
I don't know, man. It's kind of gay to me.
whoa, 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 whoa,
So this-
Man, hold
this
on.
isn't
It's 2020. It's 2020. We left that in the past.
Yeah, I didn't say there's anything wrong with that. I just said it's kind of gay to me.
Whoa, sorry, hold on, man. Gay? What's gay about Pooty Pooty?
No, you ejaculating
Everything.
semen to it.
No.
Yes, exactly.
All right, let's keep it pushing because the Darkshine art is really good too. It's like right there. Like if Pooty art is a 59, then the Darkshine art is like a 57.93. Right up in that range right there. So we got another instance of Garou or HDX or One's racism. In response to the offer to join the peaceful offer to join the Hero Association, Garou immediately reminisces to Garou's like propaganda of joining the Monster Association, and then he responds with "You people."
Hey man, he out there, man. It's crazy. At least he open with it.
And then the panel underneath it, bro, like, that's godliness. Like, this is Garou. This is what you should think about when you see Garou. For the next however long this fight goes, for however long the next hiatus of Garou is, my nigga, like, the devious evil coming from this nigga's smile a bit. Like, you could just see the fucking, the younglings being chopped up in this nigga's eyes, been like the fucking like, bro, just the massacres in this nigga's veins, but like he just eludes genocide, my nigga. Like this is what we need, and he's here.
Are you saying we need genocide, Grimm?
Hey man, I'm cool.
Would you say that it's the final solution?
Whoa, whoa.
You started this, Grimm.
Good backup plan. I feel it.
I mean, he is blonde right now.
He's not even blonde. He had
What is
gray
it?
hair.
2017? Calling in blonde?
So I tried to bring this up earlier. I think, and I want to try to address it like straight head on. Can he control his muscle mass?
Garou?
The
Darkshine.
slightest bit.
Darkshine, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, obviously. You saw the
hold
fucking
on,
flags.
because this is flexing and controlling your muscle mass.
I know. It's a different thing, but like that was unnaturally a large flex.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, he's flexing, but he's having serious growth.
The way I see it, it's kind of like, and I've wanted to do this for a long time. I could plug in Kill I Kill with this shit. The way I see it, it's kind of like Gamagori from Kill I Kill. Like
Yes.
if you see him in Kill I Kill, there are literally times where this nigga is as tall as a building, and then there's other times he's just like normal. Like I think it's just like to emphasize his strength or him being serious or whatever you want to say. It's to emphasize something, you know, and they use his size to do that. I don't think it's necessarily that he can. I mean, I do think he, to some degree, he can control a little bit, but I don't think he can just be like, all right, I'm a turn some like a skinny nigga, and now I'm a have all these, you know, huge muscles, whatever. But I think it's more of like an artistic emphasis thing.
You see it in Kingdom all the time.
But if you look at every time Darkshine is attacking, he's become bigger. So it might be like he can just increase his size for his attacks.
Okay.
Kind of an All Might situation where he has like a limited kind of like, okay, go on buff, and then boom.
Yeah, but this is like seconds. Because like I'm just
like
going off of
present day
what it
All
looks
Might.
like. Because like he's like, you know, standard Darkshine muscular when he's not attacking, but when he does go to attack, then he seriously gets bigger. Like the only real time that he doesn't become massive is like when he is counter striking Garou spinning around him. But after that, like he's friggin' massive every time he attacks after that.
No, but even then, like, this is why I asked that question in the beginning of the stream. Like, he's being drawn at different sizes in the same chapter. Like, even in one page, panel to panel, he was being drawn completely different. So I'm like, I don't think he can. I want to say it's that. I want to just be simple and just be like, yeah, it's just how he gets stronger or whatever. Like, yeah, he is getting bigger or whatever. But then it could be like, what if he's just flexing? Because I don't want it to be that. Like, that's kind of cheating if he could just, like, make more mass. Like, what if he's just flexing and shit like that? That's fucking crazy that he can flex or whatever. But then, I don't know. What if it is just a depiction of him trying to depict emotions? Like, that makes a lot of fucking sense. That really makes a lot of sense. That, like, Darkshine isn't really getting bigger when he's flexing. It just looks bigger and scarier. But then again, like, this nigga's a realist. Like, he draws real shit. It's realism. So I think there's more weight in believing that he is actually gaining mass or he's actually flexing instead of just believing that it's just a depiction. But I know I'm rambling, but it's probably a combination of all of that shit. With that same attack that we're talking about, though, it was a tackle. That's what people have been, like, dubbing it as. It's unnamed. I know that it's not true that an attack that's not named is weaker than an attack that is named. That's not the case. That could be the case often, but that doesn't mean that's the rule. So, in this instance, like, should this be a named attack? If it shouldn't be a named attack, does that mean this is something that Darkshine is able to do, like, split second part of his normal base of power where he doesn't have to, push himself to the limits? Like, what does that really say about, like, Orochi's punch when Garou blocked it? Like, does this compare to, like, the fist strike? Or maybe even the fist strike at 100%? Like, can Goketsu's punch stop him, deflect this? Would Goketsu's arm come off because of this? What did you think? What did you feel? What came to mind? Your complete thoughts on, like, this tackle?
Well, I'll say for me, I think when it comes to named attacks, what it shows me is that the mangaka or whoever is trying to put a spotlight on the attack to kind of emphasize the weight of it. Like when we see this tackle, I'm not sure because I'm not looking at it right now, but I think this is when Garou started to think like, oh, this shit could kill me, and he was very worried about the attack. So when it comes to like unnamed attacks, I don't think, like you said, that means that they're unnecessarily weaker. I just think, unlike unnamed attacks, when we do get the named attacks, it's the mangaka or whoever tried to say, all right, y'all got to pay attention to this specific moment to, like, kind of gauge the strength of somebody and
Facts.
whatever you want to do.
I was saying that, I don't mean to interrupt you, but, like, if we take the examples in Naruto, one of the great things about it is that after a while, we started to see named attacks without having the name signature on them there, or without them having to charge it up for 15 minutes or whatever. Are we going to say those attacks were, like, weaker because they didn't name it? No. We have to look at the instance, situation, and, like, judge it base by base. It's not that just, like, named attacks are just, or an unnamed attack is just inferior to a named attack. And I'm not saying that, like, if you see a named attack, it could be weaker than an unnamed attack, but I just think it should be looked at situationally. I'm just trying to make that point for that because I really want to consider this attack like if. Well, please continue what you were saying, Satsuki.
Oh no, I don't want to continue, man. I am swimming. I'm trying to avoid talking. Honestly, I'm swimming, man. Don't drink, kids.
You're swimming right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it in the chat a while ago.
Hold on, bro. You're drinking or you're swimming?
No. That's what I'm
He's
saying. Like, yeah,
swimming in
I'm drinking.
alcohol.
Oh,
Yeah.
Drinking a lot of alcohol.
Oh, I'm like,
Kids,
nigga, you're in
all
the
the
pool?
underage kids, drink.
If I was swimming while doing the podcast, man, that's some goat shit. I can't. That's a feat.
Waterproof, Bluetooth, microphone with the headphones.
Shit, noise canceling. Shit, bro.
Screw the pop filter. You need the splash filter.
Matt.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah. I compared it to the tank top tackle. So this is tank top tackle EX. It's really strong. Satsuki, I think what Satsuki said nails it. Like, it's impressive, but it's not a name move because it's not something we have to focus on. Like exactly. I'm repeating what he said at this point, but he just said obviously it's not named, so it looks amazing, does great damage, but it's not like a pay attention moment. Like Satsuki put it perfectly.
This isn't a pay attention, bruh.
Hell, this might actually be the first time he's ever done this move, so maybe he hasn't come up with a name for it.
Yeah, this is definitely a pay attention moment to me. Like from what I took from Satsuki said, he said it clearly. Fuck y'all niggas, bro. Hell yeah, this is a fucking a pay attention moment, bro. He fucked this nigga's chest.
That's a straight Mortal Kombat finisher there, man. Oh my god, this dude, get over here! Oh my god.
Chase the Darkshine Express.
When I seen it, the first thing I thought of was Blitz the League. I don't know how many people have played that.
Hell
but in that game, it's football, and basically they let niggas get injured and they show the injury. So if you get your shit rocked, they'll show spinal injury and all that. And the thing, man, that game was so wild, bro. That's like that XFL type of shit because they would let you take steroids mid game. I'm not joking. Mid game, you could take steroids and come back in 4 days.
Hell yeah.
That game was wild.
All the underage kids out there, start drinking.
No.
Start smoking too. Shit. Fuck it.
You have too much.
Yeah.
You gotta be all around. You gotta be a jack of all trades.
Do it while you at the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Actually, swim when you're drunk.
Swim when you drunk. Smoke when you gasp. When you actually need air. All that shit.
Yeah. This is gonna get so demonetized.
Grimm sounds a little different.
My bad, bro. It's like fucking these fucking Girl Scouts were out front, and this nigga started like going crazy. Fucking Girl Scouts, bro.
He wants them cookies.
I never had Girl Scout cookies. I don't think.
Yeah,
Some of them are pretty good.
they're definitely not worth all the fucking hoo-ha and show they put on, but that's fucking crazy shit.
You can definitely get them from the dollar store, but it's usually for a good cause.
That is
so,
true. You can.
Wait, are we shit talking cookies right now?
We were supposed to be finishing this tackle, but
Well, let's just say it fucking wrecked house. Well, actually, it wrecked like a city block worth of infrastructure.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not a named attack. It wasn't named in the webcomic either, and I was still surprised at that point. I mean, it's just as powerful as a named attack, but, I agree with you completely, Grimm, when you said that just because something's not named doesn't mean that it's not powerful or as powerful as a named attack. I just think it's odd that, like, the Super LA Bazooka is named, and it's just him, like, throwing, like, a right, like, cross pretty much. And the tackle, which seems way more significant, just doesn't get named. I don't know. Maybe he just didn't think that it needed a name. Maybe it was like more of a freestyle move. But yeah, it's awesome. One of the most devastating things we've seen this arc so far. And we've seen a lot of devastating shit.
No, but yeah, that bazooka is controversial. We'll talk about that at the end. No, it's just controversial.
Garou just trapped in the rubble.
In terms of like durability though, like this is a character who we've seen take point blank energy beams from the strongest of dragons in terms of voting and in terms of like our community's consensus. Top two dragons Rover, he took him point blank several times. He's encountered several other individuals who do similar attacks point blank. So, and then we've seen him fight martial guys. He got beat up by Genos and Bang and Bomb at the same time. All kinds of stuff has happened to Garou. He's taken a lot of damage. He's very endurant. But this is a guy who like was healing. We know he has crazy healing. He seemed like he was good. Just sitting there in the chains or whatever. He wasn't continuing to die. Maybe he was, I'm not sure. But like he seemed like he's stable at the moment. And then, you know, this happens. He gets his fucking chest broken by a tackle. Granted, he tried to deflect it and he couldn't. So he technically took the full blast of it. But like he's taking other full blasts. And they didn't break his chest. They didn't like burn his arms off. They didn't blow other shit apart. So I don't believe what I'm about to say next, but I have to ask it. Is this tackle more powerful, as powerful, a little less powerful, way less powerful than some Rover blasts? Not the strongest, but some. Than Orochi's punch? How strong is this tackle?
It's one of the strongest things we've seen. For sure. And I wouldn't say that it's really necessarily fair to compare it to the Orochi punch because he was holding back in that fight against Garou, as we know. So, I mean, yeah, Garou was able to fend off the punch at first, but then he got blasted into the wall. But I would say that this is definitely stronger than that punch that Orochi did in Chapter 92, which is saying a lot. I mean, he's one of the strongest S-class heroes, so, you know, naturally he's going to be absurdly powerful. But comparing it to Rover, not really sure, because that was only really doing external damage. This is just, like, completely wrecking Garou in a different way. Like, it's cracking his ribs. As where, I mean, I guess maybe Rover was, like, holding back too. Maybe if we want to do some work for one, we could say that Garou mentally told Overgrown Rover to not kill Garou. I don't know, but I would say that this is up there with High Dragon stuff easily.
Yeah, I think what you guys are saying are right, but I think it is comparable to like a Rover Blast, but just in a different way. So like maybe because it's just maybe because we're playing Pokemon, but like there's different types of damage. There's special damage and there's physical damage, and just because of like the outlook of how, just because of obviously like the amount of damage they both did. Like obviously Rover's like initial blast against Garou, like firing through multiple floors, and we can see this as well when like obviously the tank, like I'm about to say tank tackle again. When Darkshine tackles him, like it damages like multiple, like a large area around it, stuff that isn't even like anywhere near it. So it's a different kind of damage to it. I think it's comparable, just a different kind of damage is taken. It's like Zhoniin said, like it's not just, it's like it's destroying his insides, not just his outside.
Which while we've been discussing this, I'm actually wondering how much was Darkshine actually holding back? Maybe that's the reason why it wasn't a named attack, because this isn't the full powered version. Because, you know, he almost immediately follows it up with a named attack. So
I think there's a real like there's a real danger in like using the phrase full power or not using the when you use the phrase not full power, because you make it seem as if like him fighting regularly is if he's holding back, and that's not really an accurate depiction. Like most of these, like how do I put it? Just because you aren't doing your final move doesn't mean that you're not trying your hardest. It's just like I can make a parallel with One Piece. Whenever Akainu and Whitebeard fought, Akainu didn't use any like crazy named attacks, but he was fighting the strongest individual in the series at the moment. Are we gonna say that he wasn't trying, that he didn't use his full power? No. He just didn't get a chance to use those named attacks. But he did the best he could in that instance. He was trying his hardest. He did everything that he could. So I think that Darkshine's clearly trying here. There's no reason to say he's holding back. He just isn't using his finishing move. His complete full power of technique like that. That's what I think it is. I don't think they're holding back. They're just not doing like their final moves. That's the best way to put it, if I were to say it.
Yeah, I think you're right. And also the fact is, before that, he literally says to Garou that allow me to end it right here. So he was going at him with like intent. Like even, I don't know about holding back, but he was going at him with the intent to finish him off with this move.
Yes, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, 100%. That's the perfect example too. Like holding back does not, or not using your full power does not mean holding back.
You could have Grimm.
I said dildos over dicks.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
Nigga, what are we talking about? Are we talking about the chapter still?
Sometimes you have to wonder. Yeah.
There's an important quote that came up that it'd be badass if Zhoniin read.
What? No, I mean you cut out. I think you cut out for everyone.
Yeah, could you read the top panel of page 22?
Oh yeah, this goes back to what I was saying earlier. I knew that you were gonna like
Yeah, nigga.
I agree with it. I think if Hero Hunter Garou ran into Atomic Samurai, he would have got diced up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, so we talking about yeah. And then it's
That's it.
Yeah. Whoa, what you mean that's it?
Hero Hunter Garou, that's it. That's as far as I'm gonna give Atomic.
Beef.
No, go ahead and say it before what? All right.
Me?
Yeah.
No, that was it. I'm saying that's as far as I'll give Atomic. He would dice up Hero Hunter Garou.
I don't know who that is.
That's base level Garou.
You know who it is.
No, tell you the fuck up.
All right, watch season 2.
I'm gonna start taking on the hero.
Yo, this man really said that Rover Garou would beat Atomic.
Oh no, what? I mean, you have this conversation recorded. You can hear that I didn't say that.
Knowing him, he'll cut it out just to make it.
Hell yeah.
No, that's way too much work. He's definitely not going to do that.
Hey, yo, fuck Zhoniin.
I wouldn't do it. That's so much work.
Oh shit!
I would just dub my voice over.
A real crude one too.
Yeah.
Oh shit. What did you guys give context to the quote about King, Flashy, Tatsumaki, and Atomic? But matter of fact, no, we can all pretty much agree that like that would probably like make sense. But like, does it like
what stood out to me about that quote is not who he said, but in the order he said it. Because he starts off by saying Atomic, okay, and then Tatsumaki, and then Flashy the King. It's just such a weird order because I don't think that would be an order of strength. Because even if he thinks King is the strongest, which he has reason to believe, why would you say Tatsumaki second and then Flashy second to last? It's just a weird order. Because it's not ordered in their number, or it's not in order of their number nor their strength. It's just weird.
It almost would have been if Flashy Flash wasn't after Tatsumaki, because Darkshine does think King could take Tatsumaki. He says to her, he's like, Tatsumaki, don't piss King off. He'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Well, it probably is either a reference to like speciality or there's no significance to it, which I think is that. I think it's just like the order that they said it in.
Well, I mean,
Probably
also like
so.
he said that basically the big three of the S class was him, Tatsumaki, and King. And then I guess he's just throwing Atomic and Flashy Flash in there as being other elite S class heroes.
Well, elite in reference that they beat Garou at least.
No, just they're like a cut above the rest. Like
Literally, they'll cut you above the rest.
Not flashy.
What also stood out to me about that though is the fact that he left out Metal Knight. And I don't know if he left him out just because Metal Knight decided that he wasn't going to participate in this, or if he just doesn't think he's as strong as those people he said. I would go with the former just because that makes more sense, at least in my mind. But yeah, it's weird.
yeah, I'm curious how like the heroes see Metal Knight. Like, do they think that he's unbelievably powerful? Because the Hero Association themselves does. They allegedly fear him. But like, do the S class heroes? Remains to be seen.
I think it's got to be either like a mystery thing where like the lack of his presence or information, like they don't really have that strong of an opinion about him, or like it's some emotional thing where like he's a dick, so like they don't really care. Because this is like he's a prime example, right? He's a guy that like Darkshine that like it seems like. Matter of fact, no, he's going out of his way not only once, but he's done it before to hype other niggas, to mention other people. Like he's technically the hype man and shit. So. Maybe there is a reason. Maybe the relationship between Metal Knight and Darkshine is strained for some reason.
But I always get the impression that like the S class, like first majority of them all first met at that meeting, for Shibawa's prophecy. Like before that, they kind of just like heard about each other. It's like when I like, you know, think about it like if you go to like a standard like 9-to-5 job, you don't know everybody that works there. Like everybody works all different shifts and, you know, different departments and everything. And you're not really ever going to meet everybody unless like you just randomly go to like a huge meeting where everybody is going to come together. And that's not really common for most places. So I think it's like that.
I don't.
That makes a lot of more. It makes a lot of sense just because they're not only because of what you just said with the 9-to-5 jobs, you're not going to know everybody, but more so because they're S-class heroes and they're called upon on special situations, really, when their talent demands it. So it's kind of like they wouldn't be in groups even if, like, they just wouldn't be in groups because a situation would demand that they would need to be in groups.
I 100%.
And also, like, when they talk about Drive Night, I think Darkshine's there too. And he's just like, oh yeah, I just heard he never lost a fight or something. Like, he doesn't even know that he's powerful. He's just like, yeah, I just heard he's strong. So, like, they haven't even seen each other, like, do anything, pretty much. They just, like, only go off of the legends of people.
That could be, yeah. I don't believe that that's the first time that they met. Because I think we got information about when the association was made. So I would assume that like somewhere along that path, they would have had at least one meeting before that. But even if that is true, or if it isn't true, I think that the sentiment that they are not familiar with each other is 100% correct. And Satsuki's reasoning supports it 100%. Like also as well, like they don't even show up for shit when it happens. So like, what the fuck? No, these niggas aren't around each other. For sure they're not.
Yeah, Flashy off killing, you know, mob bosses and
the Organ King.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why he don't show up most of the time. He's spending his time tracking these fuckers down to kill them.
And that could be why there's like a disparity between like strength or whatever, or like opinions about each other's strength or whatever. Why some niggas may think this or that. Like the whole a few podcasts ago, we had a deeper conversation. If you guys want to check that out, viewers, about who really knows about each other's strength. And like if acknowledging somebody's power, such as Orochi did, is an indicator of like your power. If you're able to notice how strong a very, very strong individual is that a negative thing, or is that a positive thing for you? And is it a negative for somebody who doesn't? So this is an instance where or this is evidence to prove that it may not necessarily be so cut and dry. That because Tatsumaki thinks King is strong, it doesn't mean that her perception is just horrible and she's just bad. There may be reason for her to think that he is strong, and it may have more sway than her senses or whatever. There may be more reasons for that shit like that.
You know what? That whole thing of them kind of accepting how strong other people are kind of makes me question, like, why do they try to denounce everything that Saitama has done? It's not necessarily them specifically, but like other characters in the series. Anytime Saitama does anything, it's kind of like, oh, well, no, they were just weak, or he got lucky, or something like that. But they're so, yeah, but they're so readily to accept rumors and things they haven't seen with their own two eyes. It's kind of weird.
It probably comes with status because, like, oh, they're S-class heroes, so yeah, they're strong. Saitama, oh, he's a B-class hero, he's a weakling. I'm not even going to question it. I don't need to read into it. All I know is that he's a B-class hero. That's all I need to know.
That would also explain Amai's attitude towards everybody else, because he's not only in the position of like,
Amai has that attitude just about everybody.
yeah, but like we can't just say it's like completely unfounded. Like, yeah, he is a dick, and that's what one is trying to display, like, for sure. But like, he also has a position where he's quote unquote administrating who gets into the S class, so he may have more information about these guys and like they know about each other. That's not to say that Amai is not delusional about beating anybody that's fucking above fucking Metal Bat, but it could also mean that like maybe he knows about one or two more techniques than they know about each other. Or like maybe he knows that like this guy had this feat or accomplishment, and that means a lot to him more than it does somebody else. Right? I don't know, but just
Amai definitely knows shit. He definitely knows shit.
All right.
I mean, he's like, you know, in the Hero Association, he's like one of the, I think, directors or something. I forget his exact title, but he definitely knows more than what the other heroes do.
So what, he's got some kind of infonet, like when these heroes are up and coming, and then that's what designates them into S-class if they ever make it?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've literally seen that happen. Like when Saitama defeated Deep Sea King, the bearded worker brought My Mask a tablet, like with all of his info and stuff.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
I'm about to do something I never thought I was going to do, and it's probably because I am drunk.
Nani?
But I'm gonna praise Sweet Mask by saying,
oh no,
listen.
The Ugly Gang will never forgive you.
Just quickly, does this influence the bet at all?
No.
Carry on saying what you were about to say.
Because it has nothing to do with his strength. I'm going to praise him, but because like I'm complaining about people showing or not showing Saitama the respect that he deserves a lot of time. At least with Sweet Mask, he's kept it towards everybody. It doesn't matter their status, rank, or anything, because he was shit talking even Atomic, and he has a higher rank than him, and he's earned that rank. So at the very least, he keeps the same energy with any and everybody. It doesn't matter who it is, and he believed that he should have been a leader of the team when they infiltrated the Monster Association. So at the very least, he's consistent.
All right, Grimm, you need to edit that 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Put it at the beginning.
On the podcast. It's good on the podcast channel.
That needs to be the intro to the podcast every time.
Oh shit. Oh my god. The stench of hypocrisy is making me sick. HDX, what are you doing, bro? Oh. The quote was spectacular. One dropped it on us. The eyes for Garou in this panel look cum-worthy. the fucking grin on the side with the fucking bro. This is overgrown Garou, bro. Fuck this shit. It's overgrown. This thing is big as hell, bro. This panel is everything, bro. This should be Zhoniin's new thumbnail. Fuck the old one, nigga. Right here, bro. This shit right here, bro. Like, bro, he just looks like.
I agree.
Oh,
Devilish.
go ahead, man. Hop on it, bro.
That's it. I agree. I would use it, but I got some custom art done, so I have that now.
Hey, drop that shit. What is it?
It's on my channel now.
Your channel? Hold on, bro. Let me see this shit, bro. You got Morata to do some art for you, huh?
Yeah, one day. I wonder how much. I mean, he would never do it for like anyone, but I wonder if he charged how much it would be. Probably like $1,500.
Oh shit!
Listen, man. Anything it takes to get that Fubuki hentai.
Yeah, I'd be
official.
like, you want $1,500? Draw just like a 1 page of Fubuki hentai where her ass is prominent, and you got it.
Not only am I going to bask in the glory of it, but I can just resell that. You know how many horny people I could sell that to?
Copyright that bitch.
Potentially millions.
Oh shit! Hey, low key, bro. I don't mean to call you out, but you almost got a video that's about to reach 1 million.
Yeah, I hope so. I've always wanted a video with 1 million. I mean, you know, every YouTuber does, but
Hell yeah. Fucking hell yeah. Check that out, guys. Child Emperor's Power Level Reader. 1 Punch Man. If there's 9 through 9K. So if we each watch it that many more times more. I'm not doing the math. Fucking
I was waiting. You would really impress me.
I think 61, yeah. So we get that many more K watches. We each do that, and then we in there, bro. We would get like 700, 800 a podcast, like the first 2 weeks. So like 800 times like what 61K. That's how many views you're gonna get, bro. We're gonna
guys.
Increase it even more. So
thank you, all 61,000 of you.
You got it.
Oh shit! It is really close.
We each gonna watch the 61K times. All right, but let's get back into the greatness.
What else? So just before we go, I'm just saying, if 1 million people are gonna watch my friggin' dumb video, then I think over 1 million people are gonna buy that Fubuki hentai.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. To have like 1 million, like anything, bro. Like, I don't think niggas really understand what 1 million is. Like, niggas don't understand what like 100 is. Like, what it is to that first 100, bro. When you get that first 100, like, bro, that shit's different, bro.
Felt good.
Hell yeah, bro. It's like if you sit in a room, 100 niggas will come in that room. Bro. You know what? 100 niggas, bro. That's crazy.
I don't want to know where this is going, dude.
I'm just saying. Look, I play football, so like I've had to, halftime pregame speeches, hype niggas up, room of 50 niggas, 20 niggas, whatever. It's badass. You feel inspirational and shit. Imagine 100 niggas just there sitting quietly listening, bro, liking your shit, like badass. But 1 million, bro. Zhoniin already at 50K, bro. That's an army, bro. If this was Roman times, bro, Zhoniin have a whole squad, bro. Then they could be threatening Rome and shit like that. But nigga, 1 million?
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Oh, you Caesar, ain't it?
Your time is over, Caesar.
Yo, you're gonna.
We're here to debate you about Garou versus Flashy Flash.
Then he starts talking in Roman, doesn't have a clue what the hell you're saying.
You're gonna storm the Vatican, though.
Whoa, bro. I low-key would on like everything, bro. If I became a world power, I'm taking it back in city. Yeah.
Make a video about it.
What I would do as a tyrant.
Garou in the real world. Okay. So before the rest of the fight, Garou gives his whole like hero stance of justice. He mentions, is this situation supposed to be part of your little morality play too? The protagonist is filled with strength because of the good he's fighting for, huh? You were saying some bullshit about me playing monster. Do you people really it's like racist. Do you people really think you aren't playing hero? All you heroes are shit. And what really grinds my gears is that the shittier you are, the more the public loves you. That's why I fight. I will put my life on the line to crush justice. And then you get that, bro. That foot may be the best shaded foot we've had all series, bro. On God, bro. My nigga, do you see like
It's hockey.
It's kind of weird. Like, why? How is it being shaded that way?
By God.
The symbiote.
Like, nigga, that shit shaded, man. God damn, bro. And then the hue. It's low-key, that's why it's badass. Because of the hue from, like, the tatters of the clothes on that.
Now, see, I like Murata, but I didn't jizz when I saw that foot.
You don't got a foot fetish like that?
Not like Grimm does, man.
Whoa, bro. Nah, don't. You ain't finna attach me to that fetish, bro. I can't stand niggas who like feet like that, bro. It's like, why, bro?
Oh shit!
No,
Let me
like
leave
ass like a normal person.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
Yes, that's gonna be fucking feet. Yo, oh god, I bet Buddy Satsuki will fucking bitch feet, bro. Bro, for real, bro.
Listen, man.
No, yo, is your top category on Pornhub?
Oh no, definitely not. Nah, it's amateur.
Oh, all right,
Listen. I've said this before. I don't know if I said it on the podcast. I said it before, but I need the videos to be phone quality. The lesser the quality, usually the better the video, because I can see the realness and everything. It's a certain type of reality with amateur porn, because you're getting the real shit. You're not getting this over edited bullshit that's like on Black or anything like that. I'm tired of the good direction.
Yeah, you don't have the guy who's just has a horse cock who's incredible at fucking and can just go 20 minutes. You just have like a normal dude with a normal dick going for like 6-7 minutes, and then he finishes normally, and it's just like, okay, I can get that.
So Satsuki's into that Macromedia Flash 8 quality.
I was gonna say he's an indie film guy. Satsuki is.
Yeah, it's just like puts me in a mindset of the person that's actually in there, and I'm engrossed in the world of the video I'm in. When I see all this over edited bullshit, yeah. When I'm in this over edited bullshit, I'm like, this ain't real. I was like, what the fuck is this? This a
when
fairy
he's wearing
tale.
his VR headset, he's like, this ain't real.
That guy's not a pizza man.
How did we go from shaded foot to freaking low res realistic porn?
Yo, Satsuki.
I'm so glad Satsuki's drinking whatever the hell he's drinking.
I'm gonna regret it once I look at it. Oh. I ain't gonna lie, when that one girl had the bath water,
what?
I didn't think about listen. No. I didn't finish. I didn't think about buying it, but I damn sure was thinking about reselling it.
Yo, Satsuki the business tycoon.
It's actually a really good idea, because that is out super fast.
It's fucking dirty, bro.
All I have to do is listen.
It's dirty.
All I have to do, like, it's such a finesse. All I have to do is recreate the package it comes in. It just put regular water in it and keep reselling it.
Oh no, you're giving away the treat.
At least use your own bath water.
Yeah, I know. You could have just put Florida water in a bottle and sold it.
Oh no, that's dangerous. That's toxic.
You want someone suing you? I drank your dirty ass bath water and it gave me tetanus. Hey, fun. I'm soon. How's it going?
Yo, your niggas are here. Bro, y'all did this, not me. I would have
So,
let the record show. I didn't start
Well,
Nah,
technically, you started it.
this.
Actually,
It's my fault. I don't know what's going on no more.
Oh, shit. All right, let's get.
That was a solid tangent. Good job, guys.
Like I said, I wouldn't use it, but. All
Alright,
so-
we're almost at the end. It's all good.
Yeah.
people have sat this for 2 hours, and that's what they've worked for 2 hours.
All right. So we got to the monster play panel where Garou is attacking Darkshine. We've seen this like launch pattern that he does before. It is his technique, and it's badass. I think regardless of it, it's badass. And then we got to some bullshit. Quick, 30 seconds. Hop on it. Flashy Saitama. They're continuing.
I didn't even talk about this in my review.
Me neither.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like it. Just because it was short, so it's like easy to ignore. It's just that I didn't like get anything from it. In fact, it made me more mad because like with Flashy Flash, I'm like, all right, it's one thing to downplay Saitama, but like this, what you doing? you gonna ignore what he did to you? Like when you tried to attack him? Like, come on, bro. I'm like, come on, man. He's like, you have no technique, and I'm like, shut your ass up.
Oh shit, bro. Oh man.
But it also gave us a little update on Genos. He's still running back.
Oh yeah. I don't know what role he's going to play in the story, or not in the story, but in this arc, I should say.
Yeah, it's getting
He's
really.
gonna kill the cadres.
I burned the remains.
Yeah, I honestly can't tell either, man. Like, he's getting flashes like in between like these big fights and shit like that. Like, right after he came in right after the Neon fight. That was super close. When he showed back up finally, and that was the biggest instance. And then we're getting all these other fights, and we're getting little glimpses of him along the way. Like, it's so hard to gauge when he's gonna be relevant. I think he's just like doing this to drag him along. Like, obviously he's gonna be important at a main part of the arc, but like, fuck, man, like, because I remember when we saw the loadout for the heroes who are gonna be on this mission. I was like, okay, obviously the ones that are gonna come, we're gonna see their full display later on. But this is these people's chances to get their full display. So obviously, Genos is still fulfilling that same purpose. He's not here because these are the heroes who are going to be on the main stage. But he's going to do something big, bro. Like, I don't see Garou not fighting Genos again. I don't see that. I low-key feel that, like, it'll be some Sea King type shit. Where, like, Genos faces off up against, like, Super Alloy Garou. And then fucking goes to fucking work, shows that he's a fucking true a true dragon, and then fucking he gets bodied. Saitama comes.
I'm going to make a scary prediction. Okay, we keep talking about Genos possibly fighting Garou in the future because they've had an altercation in the past. And the fact that Genos hasn't actually done anything, we don't know who his opponent is going to be because the setups that we thought might happen may not happen. What if we just kind of see him kind of threading along, you know, just a little update of him like running through the association or whatever every so often. And then he finally meets up with Garou. He does his 10-second ultimate blast just to try and deal with him permanently. And it doesn't kill Garou. It just like burns his skin off or something. It kind of goes like full Phoenix Man. And then that would like cauterize his wounds and stuff that he might have cured, you know, like what we saw You know how his like clothing is kind of covering up the hole in his stomach and everything. But what if that's all now been soldered shut? And it's like the next step of his monstrification. He now has the full appearance of a monster. And it's because of Genos. And then Genos just like falls over, gets cut to ribbons. Is this crazy or not? Oh shit, everyone went quiet.
Crazy enough to make a video about.
Oh, you're pulling us out.
Nah, it only works when Zhoniin says it.
Piece of shit, dog.
But that's just kind of my thought process. Because he hasn't done a damn thing.
Yeah, he stomped on G5.
But that's not really much of nothing.
So then what would you say about Atomic then?
Uh-oh.
Yo.
At least he's having a fight.
Yeah, because
It may not be one in his favor, but it's still a fight.
You know what also wasn't in his favor? 100 Eyes Octopus.
It's not even the same damn character.
Alright, but moving forward. This is unusual. Not unprecedented, not unheard of, but a main character in his first big fight put out a crazy big display. But now it looks like he could be getting overwhelmed. In a sequence where Darkshine's planning to counterattack Garou once again, he mentions that he's going to try and, get in between his punches. But then he realizes, oh, he's not slowing down, is he? There's no opportunity. His movements are actually getting faster. And we get these badass Garou, extreme panels. His face is just... He's going ham, bro. Every single panel here is just Garou going ham, putting that work, putting that fury, just letting it loose. This is what it really means to do that thing to a nigga. Right here. When you hear me say do that thing to a nigga, it means many things. One of those things is this here. How do you guys feel about...
That was a quality definition right there, dude.
It means many things. And I'm only going to tell you one of those things.
Yeah. But, stock drop, doesn't matter, any opinion change about Darkshine, getting overwhelmed speed-wise and, with this fucking barrage from Garou? This is a man who was just saying that he's green. He literally called him green. I mean, he's too young, you're fresh, you're not there yet. It's not enough. And now he's about to, overwhelm him. To the point where he had to pull out a full power. A full power bazooka. We ain't gonna get there yet. We're not gonna get there yet. First. Did Darkshine stock drop because he said he was getting overwhelmed? Because he said that the word defeat came to mind for the first time?
I think when you ask this question, you're talking about his stock dropping, I think you're talking about strength. I don't think his stock dropped if you're talking about strength, but like we've seen many other times, some of these S-Class heroes cannot properly gauge strength. And maybe he can gauge Garou's strength. It's just that he can't really project it because Garou is one of the anomalies that can keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger throughout the fight. So it's hard to project. Even if you think you know how strong he is in this one instance, the very next moment he could get exponentially stronger because he's adapted. So I think it hurts his stock when it comes to him being a credible source of information when it comes to strength, but not his actual strength itself.
Yeah, I think that's true. I don't think like stocks drop because I don't look at like the main thing for me with his stock in is his defense. Is like his physical capabilities. It's not like once again, whilst obviously he's saying I can't necessarily make an attack, he's still not taking any damage from it. He's still doing okay. It's just unfortunate that he's fighting Garou because at this point he's going to be like he's like the ultimate punching bag for Garou because all Garou has to do is keep wailing on him until he can do this thing that he wants to do. It keeps Garou busy and it keeps Darkshine busy, and it makes me sad that that's probably what's going to keep Darkshine for everything else. And maybe he'll like get hit on, but I don't know. Like I want like it doesn't affect my opinion of Darkshine just because it's the way the story's got to go. But I think what Satsuki said is true, and like none of them are really a great judge of character of strength.
I could accept that argument that they're not a great judge of character or strength. I could even use that to justify the majority of situations. But are you saying that there's not even a small glimmer, or not even to the smallest degree, that him considering being defeated after talking this much shit, after posing all like that, after having this much of a great reputation, after being hyped up by webcomic readers to such an extent that a person who he was talking shit about, who we know should be great, but who shouldn't be as great as him, like it just doesn't do anything to hear him say he's thinking about defeat?
Yes, I'm kind of a little bit disappointed just from the perspective of a theme with the rest of the S class has been they're all staring down the jaws of defeat, right? And they're stepping up and trying to come back from it. They refuse to just lay down and roll over. But in Darkshine's case, he looks like he considered defeat for a second, and now he's trying to put it to the back of his mind, and he's like, oh, I made it just 1 second of defeat. I'm not thinking about it again. But the fact that he's got defeat playing on his mind, and it doesn't look like he's like actively trying to come back from it. It's just more like, I'm just going to throw out what I've got. It almost looks like he's panicking at the end, where he's just like, all right, I'm going to throw out my strongest attack, and that'll save me from defeat. Whereas I'm not sure if he ever really considered what happens if it doesn't work.
To me, I look at the situation in a vacuum, and it's always situation to situation, case by case. And I've said it. I'm pretty sure I'm not entirely 100%, but I'm pretty sure I said that this fight was going to end up being like this, to where Darkshine is kind of overwhelming Garou in some cases, but it's going to be one of the fights that are more even that we've seen in recent memory. And so far, it's going along like that. So my stock hasn't dropped for Darkshine because he's where I projected him to be at with this fight. Like, as much as like we bring up like when he's bragging about himself and talking about how Garou isn't ready and he's not experienced enough. Of course, I wasn't. There's no way to predict those type of comments. But as far as the actual fighting, I figured that things would go this way because I already thought that Darkshine would get eventually beat. It's just that he would have the upper hand in the beginning, and then Garou would adapt and eventually beat him.
You was thinking facts,
my
bro.
Stock hasn't dropped for him though.
I could see that. I want to bring up something, and it's Matt that sparked the idea with your punching bag talk.
Oh, that's okay. No, go ahead.
Yeah. Garou's just essentially getting stronger right in this moment because he's up against an unyielding opponent. Because by this point in any fight up to this point for him, he's either, had to retreat because he realizes, okay, I can't fight this person, I'm going to die. He's already defeated them, totally demolished them, or he's been taken out, or at least knocked out. So the fact that he's keeping Darkshine on his toes and he can't even necessarily, put too much of a counter offensive, this is quite the boon for Garou's growth because, like, as he's fighting this wall of a character, his muscles are probably tearing, going up against this force, and then they're just growing back stronger, and you're all aware of the growth potential the character has. So it's like, this is like the ultimate training for him because he's not because he's not like like in like comics and movies and stuff, like you get like someone with a punching bag and like they just blow a hole through it with one punch. It's like, but it's not the case. So he's able to just keep training. He doesn't have to go look for a new opponent or anything. It's just all right there for him.
It's almost like the All Might versus the Nomu fight,
Fucking my trash.
where he has to go plus ultra and sends him flying to, I don't know, China or something.
Yeah, I got to bounce out, guys. It's been real. I'll talk to you on Twitter.
Damn, bro.
All right,
The
keep
Dragon
showing
Slayer.
me.
I'm about to get to the Dragon Slayer right now, bro. No, nigga, damn, man.
This is the problem when these things go on too long.
But that's a really great point that I didn't think about initially, because like you guys said, and it's something that I brought up earlier, Darkshine doesn't try to dodge or anything like that. He's not moving out of the way of attacks. So therefore Garou can adapt more so in this fight than other fights because Darkshine is allowing him. He's basically just
He's
like,
XP
yeah,
farming off of him.
yeah. He's like this. Well, I don't want to say this because he's still attacking him, but Darkshine is like this monster who has like no attack points but has all defense. So you could get stronger by killing him, but he's not going to do anything to you. And that's why I said I don't want to say that, because of course he's attacking back and Garou is sustaining damage, but that's what it's looking like right now. He's just like kind of like, I feel like he's going to be a stepping stone for Garou in the long run.
Up next, we
Yeah.
got. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, well, this is exactly what he said when he was starting fighting Darkshine. Was like, if I can beat you, then no one can then I'd have to worry about not hurting anyone, because if I can start hurting you, then no one else is an issue. And obviously, apart from Saitama, but then this really changes how people are going to fight Garou, because if it's going to get to the point of if he can hit you, then you're down. So it's going to be interesting if characters like Tatsumaki, or if Genos does have a rematch with him, how they're going to fight him if they can't get up close because of his speed and his offensive capabilities.
I do not want Genos to fight this nigga. I pray to Murata and one that don't happen. Please.
That's what I went my scenario earlier. Like, I could definitely see that happening.
I
Like,
don't think.
It's
Fuck.
gonna happen.
No.
And then he's
No,
immune to fire. Then it's like I finally adapted to
He's
that.
pretty immune to fire now.
Basically,
But I don't think he's gonna.
Go ahead, Matt.
What is that?
Whose drug phone is that?
It's Grimm.
Is that Grimm?
What?
it ain't mine.
It's like there's a loud noise.
It's like a bug
So-
alarm.
Someone's got a flip phone. Who's got a flip phone?
We all know it's me, but it wasn't me that night.
Wait, do you still hear it?
I was just good.
Nah, it's
No,
gone
it's
now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gone.
The last thing I was going to say about the rematch is I don't think it'll happen, just because I can't think of an actual rematch that happened in One Punch Man. Like that, One Punch Man isn't the kind of series that does rematches really.
Saitama and Garou.
That's not a match though.
True.
I mean, I guess like in the traditional sense, like I don't know, like the one I could think about is Saitama and Sonic, but Sonic is such a non-challenge for Saitama that it's kind of, you can overlook it, but
Saitama
that's like
and
one of the
Snake.
time. What happened?
Also, Saitama and Snake, but it's the same occasion that you're about to say for Sonic too.
Yeah.
You're right. But fuck that. Geno's like, maybe it's just me, bro. I don't know, but like, he's just badass to see fight. Like Garou versus Genos was fucking amazing. That was so good. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was more interested in Garou versus Genos than Bang and Bomb versus Genos. I was sad when they interrupted. I know I meant more or whatever. Like, oh, that's his master. Oh, this that matchup. But like, nigga, Genos, bro. And then what he was doing immediately after this. What if he would have did that to Garou?
I just don't, man. I feel like if Genos were to go against Garou, it would just become a situation where Genos is going to take another L, and we're not going to really look at the opponents that he's fighting because he's fought opponents that are exponentially stronger than him. There's going to be another L on his resume. I just don't want to see it. But you're right with the whole Genos and Garou fight the first time it happened. That shit was hype just because of like how Garou looked at him. He was like, hey, that's the demon cyborg, nigga. and then Genos wasn't not playing. He was trying to kill him. That's what I liked about that fight. But I wouldn't want to rematch them just because I don't want Genos to have another L, because we're not going to look at who gave him the L. We're just going to add it up to his column of L's.
The L just gets taller.
Well,
It's not even a column.
somebody who didn't stay with an L is Garou. He actually learned from it. He learned the whirlwind. And this man is such a genius, apparently, from such hard work and dedication, that he was not only able to master a style that he saw once, presumably, but then he integrated it into using it in one hand while doing the water stream with the other hand to pull out with this great technique, quote unquote, the Dragon Slayer fist. So the obvious question is Garou's Dragon Slayer fist as strong as the two masters?
Don't think so yet.
Yeah,
No.
not yet. Especially because he's obviously got the handicap of just one hand each.
I think it's because it's an improvised technique. But if it were to be perfected, then yeah, I think it could be stronger than them. Because I do think Garou is going to be stronger than Bang and Bomb. But like right now, at this moment, I don't see that technique as being stronger. Because if I say that, then I could say that Garou right now could bitch Rover, which I'm not entirely sure about.
I want to pose a fun question for you guys. Do you think, and that's if he actually defeats Darkshine sometime during this fight, that the winning move is the Aura Fist? Because it has pretty deadly piercing power. And that might be the one thing that actually gets through Darkshine's. It's a possibility for you guys.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Because like as soon as he pulled out the crossfang, I was like, oh shit, the Aura Fist would be like deadly in this situation.
Because I think we had a topic one time where we were debating, or we were just giving our thoughts on what a fight between Darkshine and Bang would look like, and we were saying like who would win. And I said I'm not entirely sure, but I think I said Bang just because I felt like the martial arts would be a perfect counter to his to at the time where I thought Darkshine was just a lot of power, no technique. So I could definitely see in the technique, like what you just said, being the final attack to end them.
I just don't know what it would be. Like, there's no reason it couldn't be that. I just don't know like if piercing is a way to get through like his skin or whatever. But we're definitely getting closer to the solution. Matt Sundown, what do you guys think about Garou's Dragon Fist? Is it stronger than the Masters or?
No, and just because of what you said, they're masters. Like Garou is, I think it's fair to say at this point, Garou is a master of the Waterflow Rock Crushing Fist.
but in comparison, he's still picking up, the whirlwind Einko fist. It's still a technique he's learning, and like you guys are saying, I don't doubt that he's going to be stronger than Bang and Bomb by the end of this, but it's not something that I think if Garou's Dragon Slayer fist was to go against those two, I think they just do it because, as they said, like he's green still in comparison to, and they've just got decades more experience with the martial arts.
Yeah, I agree with pretty much what everyone said. Having two masters, one with each of their individual martial arts, so you have a whole martial art on each side and they're just adding to each other, rather than having Garou with his mastery, like Matt was saying, over the Bang's martial art, and then the Whirlwind Fist, not so much. It's not exactly 100% in both martial arts, so I'd say he's lesser until he perfects it, which is what Satsuki was saying.
That does make sense. What doesn't make sense is the Super Alloy Bazooka. Now, oh shit, drop that. This is a named attack of Darkshine, which he mentioned he was using his full power for. And Garou matched it. An individual who was told to be green and not as strong as him at the beginning of this fight. So, not only assuming that he exponentially grew to this point, but he matched this named all-out attack by a full power veined up Darkshine. We have yet to see the destruction from it. We've yet to see the results, but Darkshine still matching fists with him, and his facial expression changed from a devious, angry one to a surprised one. So, how strong is the bazooka?
Clothing tearing.
I don't know if we could compare it to anything, but I would imagine it's one of the strongest things Darkshine has in his arsenal. And if that's the case, Garou just swinging a fist, not saying anything, not naming an attack, to match this attack from Darkshine, that's an indication of how this fight is going to go. At least in my eyes.
I mean, it's fairly. I mean, he's got enough confidence to name it. He goes out of his way to say Super Alloy Bazooka. So he's got obviously it's a reliable technique for him. But I mean, it's difficult because we don't see it used. It's strong. I don't really know what to say because yeah, there you go. It's strong. There we go. That'll do. Graham, your opinion, go.
With the bazooka, the one thing I don't like about it is we don't get much of a build up to it. You just see a fist clenched, and he's like, I'm about to unleash my full power, and then it goes straight into basically a cross or just a straight punch.
Yeah, I think it's just a straight.
Yeah, and I just kind of wanted a bit more, just a couple panels more on him charging his steroid infused forearms into it before he actually unleashes it, because I feel like if there had been another page just hyping it up a little bit more, maybe the fact that it was a named attack would have been more impactful, especially because you can see that Garou's basically unleashing his inner Ninetales at this point. I did kind of want there to be more of a drama behind this the Super Alloy Bazooka, but that's just my opinion. It's obviously going to be super strong. How strong, to be fair, I can't say. I don't know.
Kind of wonder if it was going to be more of like a shockwave kind of thing. Even if it doesn't hit, the air pressure in the shockwave itself is enough to do massive untold damage. Kind of like a bazooka. Because it ain't, a Luffy kind of bazooka where his fist is going to keep stretching until it hits you. But that's not even the bazooka, that's the pistol.
Well, that was it for 127's greatness. Hopefully in 128 we'll get a continuation to the Garou versus Darkshine fight. Whatever we'll get, we'll be anticipating it greatly. Unfortunately, because of the longer session, we won't be able to address the poll questions, but we'll have you guys address them in the comment section below. So on the screen, you should be seeing all the questions that were dropped in the polls. Make sure if you want to give your thoughts on it and have it read during a different video this week, make sure you drop the comments in there. Like the video, subscribe. Make sure you check out everybody's deity videos, and especially the videos that were topical for this week. Live reaction reviews from Satsuki, Matt, Kishin.
Not for me.
You ain't do shit for this chapter, bro.
I do shit, man.
You tripping.
Move on, man. Move on, man. They call me a racist. They call me Uncle Ruckus. Crazy.
Black hater. Like, it's Black History Month, bro. Come on, dog. But yeah, Matt's back online and shit like that. Kishin's putting out some really good art with his coloring and stuff. So check out the Discord link if you want to see some of his art. Sundown, you dropped the video?
Yeah. Tomorrow, man. And then the day after that too.
This nigga's a piece of.
Expect the Taizai roast. It's coming.
Why is that manga still ongoing?
That's a very good question. Find out next time.
Bro.
On Dragon Ball Z.
Yo!